shine bright like a ruby? Let's see how to add an item with Fabric in 1.17.1. Alright, we find ourselves back in IntelliJ once more, and we're going straight in to adding an item to Minecraft 1.17.1 with the Fabric modding API, and it's actually going to be fairly simple, all things considered. The first thing that we need to do is we need to add a new package to our tutorial mod package. So right-click, New Package, and we'll call this the item package. Inside of the item package, we're going to right-click New Java class, and this will be the ModItems class. Now we will require a few things in here. The first thing is we will create a new public static void registerModItems method right here. We will call this later, and this will simply do the following. This will simply log out system.out print line, and then just say registering ModItems for, and then our mod ID, which would be tutorial mod. We're going to be using our mod ID a lot throughout all of our mods. So every time we make a new item, we have to supply the mod ID. Every time we make a new block, we have to supply the mod ID. So there's going to be a lot of instances where we need the mod ID. Therefore, we're going to make our lives a little bit easier. And we're going to actually go into our tutorial mod class. So this would be the main class. And we're going to define a public static final string called mod_ID. And we're going to set this to tutorial mod. The idea here being that our mod ID is never going to change, so we can make it final. So it's always going to stay tutorial mod. If it ever does change, then the great thing is instead of going through every class that we've created, where we would have hard-coded in this string, we can actually simply replace this, and then it would change in every one of those instances. So instead of saying I have registered the items for tutorial mod, we're going to say tutorial mod the class .mod ID. And then there's another method we need. This is a private static item, and this is the register item method. This will take in a string parameter called name and an item. Very important. If this is red, then you can simply hover over this and press Alt and Enter, and then import class. It will then import, as you can see here, net Minecraft item. So it will import the item class. This method, of course, requires us to return an item. So we're going to do this, return, and we want to call registry. Very important. The registry we want to call is net Minecraft util registry. So make sure that you select this one, double click or enter, and then we want to call the register method. And then we want to say registry.item, and then we want to give it a new identifier, and here our mod ID comes in again, so tutorial mod.mod ID. Then we want to give it the name and then comma item. What is happening here? Well, with this we are registering a new item under our mod ID. So an identifier basically requires a namespace. This is going to be our mod ID, so tutorial mod, and then a new name, usually written like this. So this would be tutorial mod and then colon and then the name. So let's, for example, we're going to make a Ruby just in a moment. So this is more or less what the identifier looks like behind the scenes. It takes in a namespace and then a name of a particular thing that we want to register. In this case, we want to register an item. If we were to register a block, it would simply say registry block here as an example. But for the time being, we are going to stick to item. And the great thing is that once we made this method, we can call this every time we make a new item, and it's simply going to create that item for us and register it. So to make an item, we are going to put in public static final item, and then all caps the name of the item, in this case Ruby, is equal to register item. Then of course we need to supply the name. Please note that this name here, this gets generated automatically. You don't have to type this out yourself. As a string, we're going to write Ruby, and then the second thing is going to be a new item here, and the new item, as you can see, requires settings. Now what we can do is we can create a new fabric item settings dot, and then we can actually specify a few things right here. So for example, we could say fireproof. This would simply mean that we can throw this into the fire and it wouldn't burn. We can give it a food component. We can get it some max damage or a rarity. Now in our case, actually, we don't want any of those at the moment. We just want to make a simple item, and we want to add it to an item group right here. So an item group is a creative tab basically. So item group.misc. This is the miscellaneous item group, and I personally like to format this a little bit differently. Sometimes it's hard to read if you have a very long line here, so I like to give it a nice little line break somewhere. And this is actually all we really need in terms of code to register a new item. The last thing that we want to do is in our tutorial mod class, once again, we want to say ModItems dot register ModItems. And after we have done this, the item will be in game. However, we don't have a texture yet, and we need to actually specify that as well. The way we do this is we go here to our assets folder. We should already have a tutorial mod folder inside of it, and we're now going to create a few new folders in here. So right click, new directory, models, and then in the models directory, right click, new directory, item. Very important that this is item. This is models with an S at the end. This is item written exactly like this, all lowercase. This is very important. If you have a typo in here, it will not work. So make sure that everything here is written correctly. And then in the item directory, right click, new file, ruby.json. Now what's very important here is that the name here has to match exactly the name that we've given as a parameter right here. So this should be exactly like this. And then it has to be .json. That's also very important. So make sure that both of those are written correctly as well. And I'm going to show you once how this JSON looks. So we're going to have curly brackets, and then we're going to have parent : item / generated, comma, textures, curly brackets, layer 0, very important. This is all written lowercase as well. So layer with a small l and then 0 at the end here. And then we have tutorial mod : item / Ruby. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so that you can see this. The contents of the JSON file, as well as, of course, the textures and even a GitHub repository is all linked in the description below. So you don't have to type out everything yourself. You can also copy over a few things, take a look at it. And if you don't understand something, play around with it a little bit. That's always a very good idea to just play around with a few things. This is very similar to the identifier we've just talked about. And that's exactly right. This is sort of an identifier right here. This simply says that, okay, we're in the tutorial mod namespace. So it's going to look for a texture in the tutorial mod folder under the textures folder, item / ruby.png. So this is something that we need to create. So once again, assets tutorial mod, right click, new directory, textures, right click, new directory, item, and then inside of that we put in the ruby.png. I've already prepared this, so I'm just going to copy it over, and you will see item. This is in the item folder, and then Ruby is the name of this PNG, and this is in the textures folder. So this is basically how this goes for a normal item. It simply points to a particular texture in the textures item folder. And now the texture should be in game, but there is one more thing that we need to add, and that is going to be the translation. There's quite a few things, as you can see. Once you get used to it, those steps become very routine. So once again, in our tutorial mod folder, right click, new directory, lang, so L-A-N-G, and inside of it we're going to create a new file called en_us.json. Also very important that this is written correctly. And then inside of here we're going to do curly brackets and then quotation marks item.tutorialmod.ruby : Ruby. And as you can see, this is how it is written. So the idea being that this is going to be the unlocalized name inside of the game, and this is the localized name inside of the game. Why do we need this? Why is this needed? Why can't it just be Ruby? Well, there are different languages, and Minecraft supports quite a few of those. And Ruby, for example, is something different in Russian than in Italian, than in German, than in Chinese. So with these lang files, we can basically very easily translate into what the respective language needs. For our purposes, we're always going to use the en_us JSON. However, it of course works pretty much the same way with every other language. You would simply then have a different string here, and the name of the file would change in that case. And this is the formula that it usually follows. The type that is registered, so in this case it was an item. If it was block, it will be block. Then a dot, our mod ID, and then the name of the item, once again, which we have set right here as the first parameter of our register item method. And with that all done, we can finally see if our item has been added to the game. Alright, we found ourselves in Minecraft, and let's open the inventory, go to the miscellaneous tab, and let's go down and see. There it is, the Ruby has been added to the game, and let's just get ourselves 64 of them, and let's just throw them around. There you go. So this is how easy it can be to actually add an item to the game. Now, of course, our Ruby really doesn't do anything at the moment. It's simply in the game. We can't even get it in survival mode, so there's definitely plenty of work still to be done. But the main thing is that you actually now have an item in-game in Minecraft, and I would say that's actually really, really freaking cool. Like already mentioned, there's a lot of things linked in the description below. Just take a quick look. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new. I'd of course appreciate a like if you did, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. So yeah.